last week.
What is going on, y'all? We are live on YouTube and Facebook, and we are live on Instagram or Rammer. Well, you can check out my deer head on the Instagram clip. You can't really see it on the YouTube, Facebook, but it's over here. Over here. Anyways, we're going to start off the discussion today with a little topic of time management. Was that
I'm
one of the
doing
questions?
really good today, guys.
Yeah, it's kind of
Can you tell?
funny that we're talking about time management. Here you are rolling in late to the live.
It's actually not funny because I have a totally different side than you do.
What's your side?
My side is, just let me get settled here. My side is this. I love a routine. I love a schedule. I love consistency. But when you have a toddler, it's just not so much that. It can be really organized and it can be really structured, but sometimes someone's got to poop. Sometimes someone's still taking a nap. Sometimes someone just wants to have a fit. It just happens. You are no longer one person getting out the door. You are two people getting out the door. And sometimes that second person doesn't want to.
Sounds like excuses to me.
Wow.
Sounds like
I
excuses.
will let you have a day in my life, a week in my life.
Anyways, let's talk about time management. Speaking of time management, I've got a presentation that I'm prepping for. Trying to tie in health and habitat. I'm speaking at a regenerative agriculture conference in 2 weeks, and I have not even started the presentation yet, so I've got to do that. So I'm still trying to figure out the title, but we're getting there. What do you think about this for a title?
This first.
I'm asking everybody here for the title. What's the matter, buddy? The keto lifestyle plus regenerative agriculture for optimizing our health and our habitat. Let me know what y'all think of that. What's the matter with him? Diesel got him. All right, so let's talk about time management, y'all. Time management is very, very key. I'm a very disciplined, structured, routine person. And there are areas in my life where I allow myself to be very unstructured, but not many. I think most of the success I've seen has been a result of finding something that I can do to chip away at the goals every single day without fail. And in order for me to do that, I have to have a very structured daily routine. So from the top, I'll just kind of go through my personal daily routine. And then Crystal can, I guess, share hers. And then we'll talk about some tips and tricks and tools we use to stay organized with a routine. So my day starts at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's when my alarm goes off. I make coffee while the coffee is brewing. I do the cold plunge. After the cold plunge, I drink my coffee, pray, meditate, and journal. And then I head into the office. I'm here usually by 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock sometimes, depending on the day. And I start working. I try and do a lot of my creative work before everybody else gets here. I train at 6 o'clock, 6:30 every single morning. And then after that, I have a meeting with the crew at 8 a.m. And then we go into the day, which depending on the day of the week consists of filming content, doing a bunch of administrative work on the computer, ingredient supplier contacts, formulations, podcasting. I try and block out my podcasting time so I can be in the right headspace for podcasting. And then the afternoons, pretty much I just work up until about 5 or 6, and then I go home. We have dinner as a family, and then we do whatever home chores need to be done. I read Rigel the book. We have bath time, and then we go to bed at around 9 o'clock, and the day starts all over for me. That is pretty much a typical day in the life. You want to add anything to that?
To your typical day in life?
No, to yours.
Oh, we don't really have a typical day. Our day today is different every day. We wake up. I immediately go in the kitchen, make breakfast, take care of Diesel if he's home. I try to knock out things in the morning to keep our morning really consistent. So we wake up, get ready, get breakfast going. Rigel has breakfast. And then at that point, it could be whatever. Sometimes I try to go crazy cleaning. Sometimes we have an appointment to go to. It seems like we have had a bunch of different appointments lately. It just feels like every day is kind of up in the air. And then some days I have a help with Rigel and some days I don't. And some days I work out and some days I don't. My schedule is nothing like what it used to be prior to a child. But I've learned to kind of go with it. It's taken a little bit of time to adjust to having a little bit of lack of structure, I guess. But I think I think there is some consistencies at the beginning and the end of my day, and I think that's really what keeps things solid. So, we get ready, we have breakfast, we have Rigel and I have a little bit of time together. We do regular things each day, like we check the chickens each day, but it's kind of however the day goes. Sometimes he naps at home, sometimes he naps in the car. It kind of just depends. But at the end of the day, Robert comes home, and that's when our the consistent evening is. So we have cappers to our day, to start the day and to end the day. But what happens in the middle is totally up to chance, depending on if we have appointments, if I have someone coming over to help with Rigel, if I have to do a little bit more work, if I work out, whatever. But that kind of goes into the middle of the day, and I try to give myself a buffer, nothing in the day, nothing random starts the day until 9:30. So we have until 9:30 into where maybe that's our first appointment, or maybe we have to run errands or whatever. And then I try to end my day around 5, so that when Robert comes home, we can just have dinner. We can take it easy. We can, Robert and Rigel read a book. Sometimes I take a bath. We just have a really relaxing evening. We have a pretty regular evening routine, which is really helpful for me to have the front and the back of the day pre-planned, if that makes sense. Otherwise, I probably would lose my mind.
And that is a nice segue to one of the time management tips, which is to have consistent bookends to your day, the same morning and the same evening routine. If you have that carved out and you prioritize the main things that you want to allocate time towards in those morning and evening hours, that is going to be incredibly beneficial. And then the rest of the day, it's just going to be left up to chance to some extent. That's why I do not train in the middle of the day. If I only trained the middle of the day, my workouts would not be near as good. They would be distracted. It would be no bueno. So having consistent end caps to start and end your day, I think, is crucial. So whatever it is that you are lacking in life or wanting to make forward momentum towards, I think prioritizing that in the beginning and end of the day is key. Another thing is I have everything scheduled. Everything is scheduled.
It is true. Everything is scheduled.
I have my meal time scheduled. I have my training scheduled. I have my podcast scheduled. I use the Google Calendar app. And if it doesn't exist in there, it does not exist, period.
And I have access to his Google Calendar. So if I need to schedule something for myself and I need him to watch Rigel or, whatever, I have access to that so that I can see his schedule. Is it even worth asking? Because, what's the thumbs down for? Someone gave us a thumbs down. What's that mean?
Who gave us a thumbs down?
I don't know. It just popped up. It goes bubble of thumbs down. But I have access to this Google Calendar that helps me to keep his life organized, because the less things I have to ask him, the better it is for both of us. Because then it's can you do this? No. Can you do this? Maybe. I got this going on. It just keeps it really streamlined. Everything is scheduled for me too. If we have appointments or we have something to do, it's usually written down in my calendar or my schedule as well. So as much as it is a little bit chaos in the middle of the day, there's certain days that we do certain things and certain time slots and things like that. But
Yeah. Another thing from a time management standpoint that I think I'm pretty good at, and I think you're probably pretty good at too, but I honestly don't see you that much.
I know.
We don't see each other that much. Is don't scroll on social. Like I will post and ghost for the most part. There'll be some times where I'll scroll a little bit to see what relevant topics are. Like if I'm looking for a shout out Sunday for somebody to highlight, or if I'm looking to see what people are talking about within the community that would be a relevant blog post or something like that, I'll spend a little bit of time consuming content, but I hardly ever watch YouTube videos or scroll on Instagram or engage in banter on Twitter. That's probably why my accounts are so stagnant. But I don't really spend very much time consuming content. There is a place for it for sure, but if you are stuck in life, consumption without creation is no bueno. And on that same token, look at how you're spending your time with like TV, Netflix, television, movies, and stuff like that. Like one of the things that I'm very proud of uh, is I've never owned a TV. I don't have a TV now. We don't have a TV for the house. We have no TVs. We've never had a TV. And as a result, we don't watch Netflix. We don't watch movies. We don't just get caught in this mind-numbing path of just consumption. Now there may be occasional times that we watched a Christmas movie on a computer during Christmas Eve. Like that is an instance where we watch something, but that's pretty much the extent of our television consumption. We don't really watch TV because,
Which is nice because we don't have a whole lot of time in the evening before, like, after Robert comes home, before, like, Rigel goes to bed. Like, we don't have a whole lot of time, but the time that we do have, I feel like it's really quality. Like, Robert always gives Rigel a bath or a shower. And, like, that's time that they get to spend together that they don't get during the day, but they do get that time. Rigel always picks out a book for Robert to read to him. So, like, they're getting quality time rather than, like, us mindlessly just watching TV,
I did watch a little bit on YouTube yesterday how to put up an electric fence, and Rigel watched that with me. But that is literally the only example I can think of him watching anything. He doesn't watch any screens. Like we don't throw a screen in front of him to get him to be quiet. Like it's just not the way we roll. So how you spend your time consuming content, take stock of that. If you are finding that you don't have enough hours in the day, then pick apart your day and figure out where your time is going. So much of my time goes to emails, and that's where I need to work on improving that. Like what I need to start doing realistically is batch responding to emails, which I do in the morning, but I oftentimes check it throughout the day because I've got things that are time dependent. But what I would like to start doing is have my email set that I only receive emails at certain times. With Gmail, you can set it such that you only get the inbox, you only get emails coming in at certain times. Like people can email you all throughout the day, but then you only see them in your inbox like at noon or whatever time you set for it. So I might actually make that setting adjustment so that I'm not checking that throughout the day. So how you spend your time is crucial.
I would say, like, when Robert was in his prep, there was a ton of, like, regimented routine type things. Like, and now that he's not in a prep, he's, like, at the tail end of a reverse diet. It's gotten a little bit more lax, but we were, like, to a T during his competition prep. Like there is no messing around with Robert or his schedule when he's in a prep.
Yeah, it was pretty structured. All right, let me dive into some of these questions. Have you guys tried dehydrated bacon? I'm so going to do that late tonight or early in the morning. I have had freeze-dried bacon, which I would assume is similar to dehydrated bacon, but I don't know that I've ever had dehydrated bacon, but it sounds amazing. Bacon in general sounds amazing.
Greg said, nice deer head.
Thank you, Greg.
Hello from Cincinnati.
Edward said, hypothetically speaking, if you think you took gear during your competition prep, what difference do you believe it would have made? I would have been, just been bigger. I would have been bigger. Like when
it wouldn't have, it wouldn't have been like in a prep though. It probably would have been an off season, so you could like be bigger.
Yeah, but if I had kept gear, Roger just turned off, or Diesel just turned off the lights. If I had been on gear during the prep, my testosterone would have stayed higher for sure because I would have been taking it in exogenously. I honestly didn't really experience much drop in strength, but I probably would have recovered better from my training, though there wasn't much of an adverse effect from that, anyways. And I would have just probably held on to a little bit more size, but I don't really want to ever go on gear, so not something that I
Too
did.
many side effects.
Do you have an opinion on the For6 Connect glucose, ketone, and cholesterol 3-to-1 monitor? I have not even heard of that. I have not even heard of that.
Cholesterol monitor.
But I'm all about the data, so that might be a super cool outlet. I'm gonna search that right now.
That's Daddy's. Hey, Bubs.
I'm texting Michael, and he's active on here. Does that title work for you though, Michael? I know you gave me an idea for a title. I like that one too. I'm trying to figure out how to like make it all work with rhythm and titles and whatnot. So let me know on here if you like the sound of that. But let me search For6 Connect. For6 Connect. Let's see what we got going here. Glucose monitor with it's $77 at Walmart. It looks like here.
Oh,
So that's pretty cool. I've never used it. I never tried it, but I'm all about fewer devices with more data. So the fact that it does glucose, ketones, and cholesterol is pretty slick. I don't know if it's accurate or not. I've gotten several meters that I've cross-checked with other meters that were wildly inaccurate. So yeah, I would definitely want to like calibrate it, make sure that it's on par with everything else. I've been using the Keto Mojo meter lately, and I like that one a lot. I like that it syncs with everything. It's super user-friendly. It syncs with the app. It syncs with my Heads Up Health account. Syncs with the chronometer. So I really like the Keto Mojo. Thoughts on the cold plunge? I love cold plunging, but my cold plunge is just a horse stock tank that I picked up at Tractor Supply Co. And it's starting to get warm outside, so my cold plunge is getting less cold. But I like it so much as part of my daily routine that I'm probably going to invest in a legitimate cold plunge as one of the first things I splurge on, so to speak, for myself, because I love the benefits of cold plunging first thing in the morning. I do like it. Sean Baker uses the For6 to read his up and down to total cholesterol, but not a breakdown. Yeah, I'd be really curious to see what my cholesterol numbers are doing. I got a cholesterol panel, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and I've got pretty good numbers. I think my LDL was 122, my HDL was 122, and my trigs were, I think, 46, 44, something like that. And I actually just got done recording a podcast with Dave Feldman. That will go live in a couple of days. But yeah, cholesterol is an interesting marker to track for sure. And it is very variable. Like it's crazy how wildly volatile it can be up and down depending on what you eat the day prior to testing. Any questions on the IG?
No.
All right, open table, y'all. Any questions y'all got? Throw them at us with anything. Can y'all tell that my face is looking way full? I got my cheeks back now. I ate the pork rinds that I tracked, and then I came here and I was like, that started me wanting to be hungry and eating. So I ate a bag of carnivore snacks and then 4 carnivore bars. So I shouldn't eat any dinner tonight, but I'm hungry still.
Whoa.
So yeah, that's what we got going right now. But any other questions, concerns, comments, thoughts, anything at all? I got to move the YouTube so y'all can see my deer real quick. I feel bad that IGs can see my deer. Hold that thought, YouTube and Facebook.
It is a pretty good looking deer. I
want you to see my deer.
Okay, let's see. Do you envision yourself being carnivore?
Whoa. Look at that.
Now you can definitely not see anything else.
All right, we're back on the highlight here.
Do you envision yourself being carnivore for the long run, or would you consider adding some carbs in the future? Neither one of us are carnivore.
I'm pretty close.
We're both keto.
I'm really close, though. I'm pretty much carnivore plus keto brick. I don't even eat anything outside of that. However, I thought just the other day about eating big old salad.
I know, you told me.
So yeah, I'd be kind of curious to just eat a big old salad and see how it does.
The thing is, like, no, we don't, and neither one of us anticipate ever having to bring back in like specifically carbs, like rice, pasta, bread. I just don't feel like it's necessary to eat any of those things. Like it's just not. Like it is not necessary to eat any of those things.
Yeah. No carbs.
But like vegetables and stuff, sure. Like I eat vegetables. Rigel eats vegetables. Robert rarely ever does, but like you enjoy like the stuffed mushrooms and jalapeno poppers and things like that. That's not carnivore,
Yeah.
but it is keto still. It's low carbs, and I think that that's what we both like prefer.
Yeah.
We just feel better.
Yeah, I concur. But yeah, no desire whatsoever to have like rice and grains and sugars or any of that stuff. Will you ever author a book about your journey with keto, homesteading, family? 100%. I've got another book in me. I want to write a book on reverse dieting, but then definitely more of a lifestyle focused book as well. Homesteading, family, all that good stuff.
I have one over here. Prioritizing what is important in time management is key. Balance is a myth.
I like it. I like it. Balance is no bueno. I say balance is bullshit in a lot of the content that I put out, but Crystal doesn't like it when I say that.
No, I don't.
Why is maintaining bad for carnivore or long term? I need to sustain weight as I get older. Why is maintaining bad for carnivore or long term? What do you mean maintaining? Maintaining what? Like maintaining carnivore long term?
Weight. Why is maintaining weight bad for carnivore or long term? Or maybe carnivore.
They got another question here.
Oh.
I gain too much when I increase macros slowly on carnivore. So yeah, like I'm reverse dieting right now. My weight's going up. Like I'm 175 right now, and I got down to 151 in my competition. Like I'm embracing that weight gain. The thing is, you can't be incredibly lean for too long. You don't want to be overly big and have too much adipose tissue either. That's not either extremes are unhealthy, but there is a lot of benefit to having periods in a surplus coupled with periods of a deficit. So I would encourage you to have defined building and cutting phases and cycle through those in a healthy, sustainable manner. But when it is time to build, then embrace that. Like you're going to put on a little bit of body fat when you do that, but that's totally fine.
We have one over here. If you get muscle cramps, what do you do for them to go away? So I got really bad muscle cramps when I was pregnant with Rigel, specifically in my calf muscles, and it was horrific. But I increased my magnesium intake. So I don't know if you're already doing that or not, but as soon as I increased my magnesium, mine went away. You got some right here. And when I do have them, I usually just massage the muscle. Like I just like take my knuckles and just like go in, and it sounds horrible. And sometimes I'll stretch it. Like if it's in my calf or something, like I'll stretch my calf and then like just rub it to make it go away.
Now that's a wall hanger, Brandon says. Appreciate it, Brandon. Thought you would like that, man. I miss you, brother. What's the difference between a goat and lamb? LOL, I'm clueless, but like I like goat cheese and goat milk. Goat milk seems to help me soothe my IBS outburst. Yeah, goat and lamb have less lactose than typical like cow-based dairy. So a lot of people tolerate that better from a GI standpoint. If people have GI issues with dairy, I always recommend them trying a goat-based dairy before they just cut dairy completely to see if that resolves the issues. As far as the difference between goat and lamb, so goat are typically, you got goat cheeses. Goat aren't as consumed from a meat source in the States as lamb are. Lamb is sheep. Lamb is just sheep that is less than a year old. So like we have 4 lamb right now because they're technically 10 months old.
Yeah, in April they'll be a year.
Yeah. Then they become sheep. They're sheep right now, but when they're that young, they're called lamb. As they age, they're called mutton. Like all these different variations of the same thing. And then if they're castrated like ours are, they're called wethers. So we have 4 sheep that are currently lamb wethers that will be mutton after enough time has elapsed. That's kind of confusing. Yep. And they're going to be tasty.
As far as like meat goes, I'm honestly not sure the difference in the quality of the meat. I just know I think people in the U.S. generally prefer lamb.
Yeah, goat is going to have I don't really ever
Tough? I don't
think
know.
of meat as gamey. Like a lot of people say venison's gamey, but I don't really think venison's gamey. But goat are gonna have a more varied diet on like forage and stuff
They
than
eat pretty
sheep
much
are.
anything.
Yeah, they eat anything, and depending, like they climb a lot more than sheep do. So they're sometimes going to have like a tougher muscle tissue because they're using more muscle, like actually climbing things, than just simply walking around grazing. And because they're eating a lot more variety, I mean, they're eating like shrubs, they're eating limbs, they're eating hard tissues instead of just grass. So that may have an impact on the flavor. That will have an impact on the flavor. So yeah, but I love lamb. All right. Are you still coaching? Lost 100 pounds and sitting at 30% body fat and weighing in at 230. I have been on keto for 13 years and I feel with your help I can reach 205, unhealthy 216. Yes, I am still coaching and I would love to work with you, Edward. You can sign up at ketosavage.com.
There's like a whole thread going on between Edward and Pete.
Oh, let's see here. The lowest I've been was 216, but I'm trying to follow all these. How do you feel at 210 compared to 230?
Pete is on the same page.
Same boat as Edward here, about 230 pounds, was 210 last summer. With your cut plan, I'm going back on a cut now and try to stay around 210 for a while. He felt fine, but I went to a slow gain phase and I am too prone to gain weight. I need to stay a little leaner, in my opinion. Same here. And then Pete is a former type 2 diabetic. Yeah. I'm not sure what the question to all that was. But yes, I am still coaching. I'm happy to work with you. I'm glad that Pete saw success with it. But yeah, 30% body fat is probably high. 30% body fat is higher than would be optimal. When I'm in the building phase, I try to have an upper threshold of like 15, 16% body fat. Any much beyond that is just not necessary. I was pretty much at about 15, 16, 17% body fat when I started the cut for this last competition. Got down to 3.9% body fat. That's obviously not healthy either. I am currently at about somewhere between 8 and 10% body fat. And I feel really good right now. Like I kind of want to maintain this composition for the foreseeable future.
Robert, when is your next competition season? 2030.
Yeah, it'll be a while, Greg. Unless you do one, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to jump on stage with Greg and put him in his place, knock him down a few notches, kick his butt.
I feel like 2028, 2029.
How many years is that?
4 or 5.
Yeah, 4. That's probably realistic. When I step on stage again, I want to look so much thicker than I did this last go around. I competed. I don't even want to throw around what I would like to compete at weight wise because you never know. But I would love to be bigger next time I step on stage. But
Greg
with
said
the
that's
same
why I'm
conditioning.
asking. Broski.
Yeah, let's just both plan on competing at the same time, but it'd be a few years from now, man.
You might have to compete one more time before Robert's ready to compete again.
Yeah.
That's what happened, poor little munchkin.
I am insulin resistant still, about 25% body fat. Michael says, what criteria do parents use to determine when children can begin resistance training, puberty, age, etc., assuming they want to? Well, we got Rigel already on the weights. Get that your phone's being used.
Pretty cute.
But we got a little video of Rigel picking up some dumbbells that are like 2 pounds.
He does like to work out. Like he does like to lift the weights when I'm doing it. It's pretty cute. I honestly, this is something that I wanted to dive into a little bit more. Because some people are like, oh, they have to be 12 or 13, but there's actually, it can actually be beneficial to lift properly at younger ages. They just have to do less, like lighter weights, etc., because their joints, ligaments, tendons, all those things are still growing pretty rapidly. You don't want them to overdo it, but I mean, their bodies are capable of so much. I think it's important to get a variety of exercises, but I've actually looked into this a bit because I thought, well, maybe I'd open like a kids gym or something. Like I think that would be really fun.
You hold them for 1 second.
Really? Oh, geez. But I would have to do a little bit more research to like back up what I what I would say if I were to put something down. But I know most gyms and things usually say like 13 or I think it's between 13 and 14 is usually when they're allowed. But I think that's probably just like a safety matter on the gym's end of things. But truly, like scientifically speaking, I am honestly not sure when it's appropriate for them to do resistance training. Do you know, like for sure?
I don't, but I would say this: when I was very young, I was working on the farm doing resistance training in that regard pretty early on. The main thing is just to make sure they're getting quality nutrition on the front end, because like a lot of the recommendations as to when kids should start working out is based on the standard population of kids who are not eating a healthy diet. So I would say that when they're, eating crap food, they're not going to be in a good position to train hard and build additional tissue beyond what they're already building as a growing child. So yeah, nutrition first and foremost. Hey, don't touch that, buddy.
Nutrition and function. I think functional, like being functional, is like super key for kids.
Mom.
What, baby?
Any new keto flavors in the making? Chocolate mint took the #1 spot. We always have something new in the pipeline. We are formulating some new flavors. It just takes a long time to get new flavors out because lead times on supplier ingredients is forever long. But yes, I am definitely always formulating something new. Rigel started at 6 months. Yeah, probably. All right, we got anything else on the IG?
Nope. Oh my goodness, it's 5:30 already. That went fast.
It is. All right, y'all. Well, we're gonna go home and we have to rotate our sheep tonight.
Do we?
Yeah, let's go ahead and rotate them tonight. I almost rotated them. I set it up to rotate them without you today. Then they were starting to get a little skittish. So I'm like, so I put it back. I'm like, I'm just gonna wait on Crystal.
They're a little crazy. We got four crazy little lambs.
4 crazy lambs, sheep, wethers. Awesome. Thank you. You guys have a good night. You as well, Edward. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate all y'all for tuning in. We'll talk to you next time. Say bye, Rigel. Say bye-bye. There you go. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You want to say bye to the Graham?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Graham.
Bye-bye.